This clip is sponsored by American Mobile. If you're a nurse interested in traveling, visit americanmobile.com to get started. So can you give me kind of a rundown of like, what is CRNA school? Like, what is it? What is it like? How long is it? You know, what should people expect?
For sure. So CRNA school is usually anywhere from 28 to 36 months. Okay. I came from a master's degree program. Now, most of those are getting phased out into doctorate programs. The majority of curriculums now have already made that transfer. So that's going to be your 3-year, 36 months education there. Most of the programs are front-loaded with didactics. So you'll do at least a year, maybe even a year and a half of straight book work. And then that'll take a back seat once you start clinicals. And then you usually have 1 to 2 days of didactics related to clinicals. And that will involve something that we all love, care plans.
And God, you guys still have to do care plans? Those never go away?
They never go away. I still have dreams waking up in the middle of the night, cold sweat, like the care plan.
Yeah, that sucks. Wow, okay.
I wish I had good news. They don't go away. But yeah, so it's always, it'll be front loaded with the didactics, and then you'll go or transition into more of your clinicals, kind of like, nursing school.
Sure.
Now, I'm not sure how nursing school is today, but one of the good things about CRNA school is you'll have a fairly decent amount of time to transition into clinicals with a lab. And you'll go through mock scenarios and stuff, but it's a little more directed than, say, nursing school checkoffs were.
Okay.
I found that when I graduated from CRNA school, the stuff you learned in the lab was very translatable to actual clinical practice, which was, kind of refreshing.
What would those labs look like?
So the good thing about being a CRNA is it's a lot of the same things in different variations, So if you practice a routine like an induction sequence and the order in which meds are given, that's not necessarily going to change once you go into clinical practice.
Right.
Now you might start treating somebody with different comorbidities, different risk factors and things like that might alter your anesthetic plan. But for the most part, there's a sequence of events that you can kind of get the muscle memory of that help with the transition into clinicals on the first day. Gotcha.
Okay. So like in lab, you would get a situation like this type of patient with this type of history going for this procedure, like what sequence or what medications would you give at like the certain doses?
Absolutely. And so, you'd be given a scenario, let's say a 35-year-old female for a lap chole. And then talk to me about your anesthetic plan. And they'll give you a little sheet, she's got this airway classification. Okay, that's a good one. So we're not really worried about airway. It should be a normal procedure, normal BMI, stuff like that. But we're going laparoscopic. So once we intubate, we're going to insufflate the abdomen. Okay, what are we thinking as far as laparoscopic considerations? And then you'll kind of stop and you'll kind of go through those. And the first time, it's really kind of like talking through the scenario.
Yeah.
And then as you advance, your simulations get more and more advanced to where this is going on. Okay, we're at this point of the procedure. Now heart rate's dropping. What are we going to do? Okay, didn't respond to that. And they're trying to get you to shift your mind from following orders to deducing through differential diagnosis.
Sure.
And finding the problem on your own and then kind of solving for that problem.
Gotcha. Okay. Wow. Yeah, that's really interesting. So most of would you say, so it's like 3 years of kind of just those
Yeah,
case study situations
it's very
that get more
intense.
complex.
Yeah. And so it's kind of hard. I mean, CRNA school is hard in the fact that you're being presented with an overwhelming amount of information, more than anybody can digest, So it's almost like a war of attrition. You see how far you could get to where you're practicing in a safe, effective manner,
Sure. Yeah.
A lot of times in CRNA school, you feel like you're at the bottom of Niagara Falls just trying to drink water. It's just, the information is just coming.